Okay. Ow. My stomach hurts. Oh. Oh, I forgot what I was doing. Oh, I'm fine. Great. It's Eternity Chronicles during a thunderstorm. So, you know, if I just suddenly stop streaming, you know why. So I already started a little bit on this file, so I need to pick a different person. Who's going to be playing this game? Hi. Who do you think should be playing this game? Fitch seems to be the, like, should be the most lawyer-like, right? Oh, you can't hear me? Let me see if I can add some gain. I don't have a gain filter. Gain. Hey, is that any better? No, that's the same. Is that better? I can't really tell yet. That looks like it's higher. Sure, you say. Is that better? I'm just turning it up. Yeah? Maybe? Hi a day. Like I said, I'm just stealing your game. Because, you know, this game belongs to you. It doesn't belong to anybody else. Not like Capcom or anything. 3 hours? Okay. That sounds like 2 streams probably. Anyways, who do you think, which of these 3 files should I be playing this game with? No. Let's see if I can turn up. Vitch. Yeah, Vitch is topical. Vitch is always topical. Because she's a main, like a main villain in... Hi. Vitch is the main villain in The Lost Belt still. So she's still topical. I don't think anybody was here when I said it, but there's a thunderstorm outside, so if I suddenly stop streaming, that's probably why. My personal volume needs to go down, but how's the volume for everybody else? Is the volume okay? Volume's good? Okay. Let's start then. This one. That one. Game sound is still low.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation.
Those are tiny subs.
The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some were swept away by the tide. But for one man, The turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Episode 1, The Adventure of the Great Departure. Shit, I forgot to check to see if I'm saving VODs. Oh well, I guess I'll find out. 22nd of November, 8:43 a.m. The Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants, Antechamber 5. Okay, what sort of voice do I need to do? Oh no, Ryunosuke! I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Oh no, fate. That's terrible. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer! Wow, I just, like, completely fucking peeked at the mic. Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obligated to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? The wind to blow his headband, it's just, you know, he just generates it on his own. Oh, yes, of course, sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not! You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. Sorry, what's up with the frogs? Was this just frogs? You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend. Also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all of this started. Flashback. Doodly doodly doo. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. Yeah, on a date. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you. And proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me! We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. No, dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Wow, that's gay. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asogi, may I have a word? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? I keep peeking the mic a bit, so I'm just gonna turn this down just a little bit. The gain filter. Maybe that might stop that from happening quite as often. It was looking for you before. It certainly says it on the thing. It doesn't happen too often though. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. This is awkward. If I may. Oh wow, my controller keeps like disconnecting for some reason. Okay. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. Yes, I am. My name is Eugene Mikutova. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Professor Mikutova. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? As I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. What the heck, my controller? He's agreed to defend me, but knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Peculiarities. That's like every single case in this series has peculiarities. Oh, is he saying then perish? Is that what you're saying here? Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. Wow, we're getting married! But that's what's going on? I do? But what will the question be? Surely not? Do you accept the accusations brought before you? No, I got that wrong. Wrong voice. Do you accept the post? Whatever, too late. Of course not. Defend it! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Surprise marriage. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. Shit! It's the same voice! God damn it! My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. That's the problem with trying to give voices to like video game characters before you know what's going on. The 22nd of November, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. So this is a courtroom? The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of these people. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. There he is. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. Shit. As is the defense. A day you're just like... Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do? I'll answer I do. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his Yes! What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikutova told me everything just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off? Won't be able to get him off, huh? No, it's not that, really. It's just that... Well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel. Which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikutova shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel, really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Huh? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. God, if he put his leg on the bench, though. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Yes! Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But, wait. I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of R. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press R for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose. What the fuck does pressing R mean? This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with R. And up at the top it says University Collar Pin. Proof that I'm a student at the Imperial Yume University. I always wear it on the collar of my uniform jacket. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. So here we have Kazuma Asogi. Fate University? Oh no, that sounds like some sort of like a fandom thing. Like how the whatever, Tumblr camp or whatever. A second year at the Imperial Yume University. He's my best friend, and despite being a student, a qualified defense lawyer as well. And there's Eugene Mikutova. He's 42 years old. It says a medical school professor at the Imperial Yume University. He's an authority in forensic medicine and Kazuma's mentor. And here's Taketsuchi Aochi. He's 51. The lead prosecutor of this case, who would appear to have little love for the changes the Cultural Reformation has brought about. And John H. Wilson, 47. The victim of this case. He was a visiting professor of medicine at Yume University from the British Empire. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now you'd better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the People section of the court record. Then press X to present. Try it now.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Isn't Yume like dream? Like dreams. I think, I don't know, I'm just guessing. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. I can't believe they killed Owen Wilson already. Oh wait, no, it was John Wilson. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together, after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man in university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So, I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Aw, Dr. Wilson's kinda cute. And he's got that mustache. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death, and select present. Do it now. Here's the post-mortem report. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. That's not the button I meant to press. But we can look at this. Yeah, it says victim John H. Wilson, male British. Time of death, 19th November, shortly after 2 p.m. Cause of death, single bullet fired at close range. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. Yep, just like it says. Sorry about the coughing there. Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes, that's right, the post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. Ooh, look at that steak. I was gonna order a steak from Denny's today, but DoorDash didn't let me order steak. It didn't let me order my food. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. Photograph of victim. A photographic print that shows the victim. He was shot from the front in the chest and subsequently died. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Yeah, ouchie. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. This is it then. I think it may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikutova? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Oh no, I have to come up with another voice? Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a restaurant, at a Western-style restaurant called Le Carnival. Of course you would like him too, a day. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some... a restaurant? A restaurant. It's a regular occurrence. I forgot what voice I was just doing. It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, I really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Yes! Hold on! Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But... The next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. Ugh. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today? Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? That's what killed Okita. There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at this table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Okay, what should I do, guys? I don't know. This is where I got up to before. And I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess it should be wait and see, probably, right? Because if I interject, I'm just gonna get penalized, right? Yeah, don't get penalized, so I'll wait. Plead guilty! I did it! I killed him! Oh, too late. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I'd never have got into Yume University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you've scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. There is something I want to say. I'm just going to shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Yes! Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Also, he's not a liar. Hasanaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. Oh god, he's dying. The waiter's business card has been entered into the court record. God, he's just dying. So, the court has now heard a precis of the case. I want to go look at it right now. Is that the A button? It is the A button. Dang. Looks like you can't flip it over yet. I was literally thinking of that. I want to flip it over and see that, like, if the name is there, but it doesn't look like I can do anything like that yet. Dang, look at that X real up close. Okay. This photo. Let's look at the steak. I want steak. I can't make out the words on the can. Okay. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. A can of wine? The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. Unsworn. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. How is that possible? I thought there was nobody else there, huh? Huh? What do you think? Oh, what do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikutova said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. The prosecutor Alchi, please continue with proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iesa Nosap reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Curio Korekuta, at your service. There's no way I'm gonna remember these voices. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Dude, you're not supposed to ship the witnesses. Yes and no, sir. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnaval. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnaval because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearms, sir. This man is impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. Really? So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Oh, you heard baby noise? I didn't hear anything because I was busy reading. out loud. I was busy reading out loud, so I couldn't hear it. Oh no. That's the streamer curse. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir! Yes, sir! Standing by, ready to report, sir! Yeah, there was a funny noise there. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back the cowardly something. I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes. All I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. Why'd you pick it up? Why'd you pick it up? After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down, and just as I was picking it up... Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? The baby. The baby. He hired the baby. Do it now. As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly. The testimony of the court as just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. He's raising his hand. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean, the defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? Wait. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuma's so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Wow, what a weak slap it. Oh, alright then. It's all or nothing. Cross-examination. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. I can't actually see the buttons very well. Is that L for press? It is, okay. I can press every time, right? That's not gonna, like, hurt, right? Okay. And over again, right?
Yes!
You can press as much as you want. Okay, good. I want to read all this dialogue. It'll take me fucking forever to get through anything, but hey. Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then, this beef steak you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Attention! Beef steak is a delicious cut of veal, vigorously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot. Oh. If food could reserve medals of honor, beef steak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet. Yeah, me too. I already wanted steak. Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question? This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Attention! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal, tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried and cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes, and when you're released from prison, try it! Fried steak, yeah. Stop talking about food. Yes, sir, I will, sir. On the double, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? I'm sorry. I'll do my best. So, next question. How many questions? Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a wah sound? Negative! Well, at least we've learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. Oh, I've got the wrong place, whatever. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. Oh, I got an achievement? But this is on the Switch, so it's just in this game only. It's not like Steam achievements or whatever. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
Yes!
Yes! I have no idea what you're talking about. A Koban, boy. A Koban? You mean an old Edo coin? The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoei period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day, with said item secreted in my bosom pocket, in the hope of an affluent cognizant appraised of its indisputable value being present. So, you were hoping to sell your Koban coin? To Sergeant Nosa, whom you met at the restaurant? Yes, it's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious Koban. Isn't that so? Well... You little upstart cadet! I'm trying to give him Team Fortress 2 soldier voice, but I'm bad at that voice. You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination! No, I didn't say anything. Although penniless might be just the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about matters of business. Oh no, you wanted to engage in the discourse? Don't engage in the discourse, old man. That gentleman beside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect. Ah, wrong voice again. Too bad. I see. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes.
Yes!
So you're saying that you actually saw me at that time? Affirmative. I saw you. Laughing, cackling like a madman as you trained the barrel of your gun on the English civilian. Slap. But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshots that you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it was? Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun. Yeah. Yak! And double R! My sixth sense. Sixth sense? Sorry? My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, cadet. Surely that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I'd have got where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well... It would seem the soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good. The black uniformed varsity student, or varsity cadet, fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Oh, you can go in whatever order you want. Yeah, you're right. He was shot in the chest. And the bullet didn't pass through, so he's clearly, like, saying something wrong here.
Yes!
But we'll see what he says when he press first. So this black uniform university cadet, you're saying that was... Arg! I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet. Who else do you see around here in black uniform, Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well, but... It was you, you little weasel. You unloaded the firearm on that man. From behind his back. And you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me. What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in the court record. And if you find an inconsistency there with what the witness just said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court. Thrust it in the witness's face and make him choke on it. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. Yeah, so this is... I could show either one of these. Because both of them say that it was a gunshot to the chest. Which one should I show? The photo or the report? I'm thinking of showing the photo just because, like, you can, it's visual evidence instead of, like, words. Yeah, photo. Let's go with the photo first. Oh, shit. I was supposed to press X. X.
Yes!
Yes! Everyone's too... What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Dusting some photographic print in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Wow. Did Naruhodo just steal all of his animations from Kazuma? That's pretty gay. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Iesanosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir. But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh, there is a baby behind him. Yeah, I'm hungry too. I should make muffins after I'm done here. What the? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. You already ate 2 of them today. Save some for tomorrow. Save some for later. Eat something else. Don't you have something else to eat? Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? You don't have any? No. Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious Le Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Ayasa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. Oh, name drop! Name drop, guys. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for a treasure. Treasure? Indeed, the Hoei era Koban, my prize coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest for my shop, Rasute, in the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you. On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I proffered my Hoei treasure. Believed that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not. But I was presented with little alternative, and then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was no more. It simply vanished. Oh no. Yeah, you can get more muffins then. The Koban vanished? These two guys' voices are too similar. Well, all the voices are too similar because it's just my voice. Hunting around under the table, I was in case mayhap it had fallen there. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoei treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoei Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive, no matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict in this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Alchi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Go have a muffin. It's not good to go to sleep hungry because then, yeah, because you're gonna go back to the store anyways, right? Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up to the rank, sir. Name, Aido. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Aido. Tension! Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. Oh, what a cute baby. I'm sure we'll see that animation again sometime soon, right? Right? So that I can see it. Alright, I'm supposed to playing this game for her right now, so I need to stop so I can wait for him to get back. Oops. But yeah, DoorDash was having like a thing today where like Denny's was having a thing where you can, if you get like a certain amount or whatever, you get like free pancakes. So I was hoping to get that, but the DoorDash didn't let me order it. So, I'll try it again tomorrow. But steak is good and pancakes are good. And mango smoothies are good. So the baby's name is Aido. Nosa said that talked about the baby, and then the baby had a really cute animation with a pinwheel that I've skipped over, so hopefully it'll show up again. Because it was a really cute animation. Okay, but that's pretty much it. The true culprit. Even with what I saw was at the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes. Pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed. Oh, I can't do his... I forgot his voice already. Indeed. Alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Oh, I forgot his voice immediately. Therefore, no one other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. What is old man voice?
Yes!
Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. Someone outside is honking a lot. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Wow, it's the stake again! Indeed. Of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. God damn it, the voice is done. The voice... As can plainly be seen, there is only one police set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. Yes, because, you know, people don't ever, go, not eat at, just sit at the table without food. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. The photographic print of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. I don't understand. What's going on here? Let's go look at that photo. Oh, it says it's a bottle of carbonated water and a steak can be seen on the victim's table. Just confirming, that that the two pictures match up. Is it? Maybe. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it is. It definitely is eaten more. I think it's definitely eaten more. Huh. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Taketsuchi Auchi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. Frogs. Ugh. Are you doing frogs for Ouchie? Is that what you're doing? How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the... Oh yeah, I don't need to read all this again, do I? Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. No, it's not. No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So, there you have it. Have what? Attention! There's the cute animation. The sound of the firearm rang in my ears at the very next moment. I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Korokuta-san? We're doing old guy voice. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man. He was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Oh shit. I pressed the wrong button, but fortunately I could just go back and just click. Yes! Okay. Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor, at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment, bang! A gunshot rang in my ears. Humph. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as well. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. That's true, yeah. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Yes! You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. Objection! As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. If only there'd been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hota Clinic? Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Huh? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted as evidence or not? Why not? Why not? Why wouldn't I?
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend. Wow, what a boomer. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. The victim's medical report card has been entered into the court record. Let's go look at it. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kurakuta-san. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Okay, let's look at this. Oh, I can't. Well, okay, I guess I'll have to start once I start pressing. So, you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? Court record. Let's go look at this shit. Oh, you can't actually, like, look at it, huh? It's not something to be examined. A medical report card from Hota Clinic that was found in the victim's pocket. So he was here, right? Ostensibly. So then his back was pointing towards the table. So he was facing this way. He's facing south or something. Southeast. Or west, southwest. Alright, then I already checked this. Huh. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. Ugh. That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beef steak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. Shit, I don't know what to do now. Yeah, but I don't really have anything to present on that, do I? Can I present, like, his card about that? Well, I have 5 HP, so I guess I could do that. I could try it and see what happens. But I don't know what else. Huh. Well, I guess I'll press this and then see what happens after that.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth?
What did you say, cadet?
I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Yeah, the evidence. Let's look at the people. Oh yeah, duh. I can do that too. Yeah, I'll try presenting him in a second. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these 2 witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right.
Precisely, in other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady.
But I...
If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time.
Okay, let's look at the pictures again. So there's this picture. This here. This thing here? That's what's it called? What's this? Isn't it? Wait. Oh, is it? This cup? Yeah, it looks like there's no water here, but there is water. And this picture? And also this is moved, because this was down where the arrow is pointing. It was down here earlier or something. And the steak seems eaten a little more. But I'm not sure. I don't think I can present that on any of the things that they're talking about right now, though. There's nothing I can say to that. Huh. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? I can't even read it beforehand. Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use the control stick to rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the left control stick... Oh, the right control stick is to turn it. I see. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Okay, let's look at it right now. In a second. And no, I can't use the right control stick to turn this over right now. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use the control sticks and A to inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. Medical report card required for every visit. It says Hota Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful yet already, I had to have this hideous injection on my right arm. I'll never forget it, never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm. Huh? Yeah, would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean, as long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors, then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine and give you painful injections. And then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege, all when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less, for which the only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. Obviously, this is what it wants me to click next. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. And there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. There's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Frogs? With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So, I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely! Frogs for the new evidence discovery. Okay, let's get to the one.
Yes!
Raising his hand. Well, I think, Whereabouts are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. All right, and thanks for the advice. Korokuta-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. I see, and I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's, Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words, just to make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further. Yeah. He's like, oh my god. He slaps the table down with his hands on the table, and it's just like makes that pathetic little slap noise. And he's like, oh my god.
The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could possibly have...
Ah, he did the first time. For the first time, he actually pounded his hand on the table and didn't make a little slap noise.
This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant?
Perhaps because Hoda Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic.
A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted.
What's this now?
And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating.
Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what?
It's all written up here and here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off.
What? No, that can't.
Kurokuta-san.
What, boy, what?
As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all.
No.
Additionally,
there's more.
You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Expertly done, partner. That's gay.
What? What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic?
How dare you?
I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant's case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? I don't ignore the dentist telling me not to eat. Huh? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Yeah, it's possible, yeah. Depends on how strong the anesthetics are, I guess. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating that pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it, so, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... me! It was me! It was...
Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table. You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person. There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Kazuma.
Are you insane? You would take on the government?
Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you.
What do you mean?
I have issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand.
What are you talking about?
We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury.
Perjury?
And, since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing.
Complicit in murder? No! Negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting.
Wait, the baby's shocked? Or was that earlier?
I was just following orders.
That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Oh. What? What did you just say, Korakata-san? No. You were just following orders? Now hold on, lad. I was, Say you never saw the gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Just one simple slip of the tongue.
Order. I forgot his voice. Oh, Counsel, will explain what's going on here. I'll remember it later. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth.
Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this.
Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut?
That's classified.
So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you?
You wouldn't. This can't be happening.
Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, let's say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Alchi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut.
Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as the result. Let's see if we can do that now. Yeah, we can turn it over now! Wow! We couldn't turn it over earlier. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title. His job... Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somehow here... The waiter's business card information has been updated in the court record. This is all the same thing. Okay. We examined... Oh, yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We have to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. Okay, we got another 10 minutes, guys, because then I gotta cut it off there. So, 10 minutes. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe.
Please, wait. Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god.
I kind of figured that.
I knew nothing.
And what does the defense have to say about all this?
Well,
Your Excellency, no time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is... Let's go with this guy. Yes! Satoru Hosonaga. Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony?
Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence.
For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter.
What? If he truly were?
Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity is proven by this evidence. Oh, I pressed the wrong button again.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back, the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau.
What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before?
The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. I mean, that's Ouchie sucking is just like the start of a very long line. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Hey, Cab, yeah. Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen the foreign gentlewoman at the scene?
Well...
Inspector Hosonaga! I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized there was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake.
So, you mean to say you...
I forgot the voice! You really are a detective?
But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Of course! Your salary must be terrible! I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes. There have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. Bang. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an English woman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some
Special orders. Special orders, you mean to say? Remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect. Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. You know, like anime characters just have to make noises even with thoughts. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. And I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young English woman. Yep, even nodding makes noise in anime. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean... When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The English woman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yume University's medical faculty.
What is happening here?
I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
But, Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions.
Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau.
As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So, it won't be a problem? Nothing will get in my way. Don't die on the way there. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. Your Excellency!
Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. You know, honestly, I think it's probably going to be a little bit longer than 30 minutes. But this is a great place to stop. Wow. Save. Yep, thanks for watching, everyone. It's been a lot of fun already, even though I've definitely been talking a lot. Yep. And there hasn't been too many choices yet, but, you know, I don't know when the next time I play, but I want to play some more, and I'll stream it some more. So, yeah. Thanks for coming, and then I'll see you later. And all that stuff, you know, words. Ugh. Let's see. Where's the buttons? Oh, sorry. My stomach's not very good today. Okay, see ya.